I'm walking down the street.
I do want to say to Doni and many of you in this room that over a very long career in this city, all of you have helped me and my colleagues tell the truth and to try to tell.
I may not look like you and you me, but
my head up.
I'm from South Carolina, so I just
Got it.
What does this event mean to you, Miss Peggy Morris?
Oh, my heart,
Happy 20th anniversary.
my heart is about loving up on my sisters. Do you know what it feels like to have your sisters in the room? John.
be me and dare to be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. I am beautiful, I am blessed, but not just what you see in the flesh. I'm free from people, free from myself. There's a
The doctor lived next door to the janitor, to the reverend, and the lawyer. We were together. Now we get so high and mighty that you create stress for your society because you don't like poor black folks either. That's a health problem. Get yourself together so I can stop being taking care of geriatric people and get back to pediatrics. I thank you, Doni, for all you've done. Let's keep doing it for all and more.
letting His glory shine through. Dare to be you, dare to be me, dare to be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. And I dare you, I dare you, I dare you to be you.
First name's Doni, last name's Glover, in it to win it for the long haul, baby. All right. So here we go. What's the date? 23rd, Wednesday. Schools are back in session. Coppin, Morgan, big ups to those students who are going back to school. Take advantage of this opportunity. It's a chance to get it right, chance to go back, learn something, despite all of the distractions that all of us are faced with. It's back to school time. My daddy would say, it's back to the salt mines. I'm back in school. Wanted you to know that Morgan has a program for people who have not completed their degrees. Mine would be working on a master's in journalism. But whatever your goal might be, I promise you that there are resources out there for you to go back to school. Let me tell you something else. As expensive as school can be, try. My daddy used to say, get out there and try. If you get out there and try, somebody might see you and help you, but you'll never know if you never try. So we've been giving away these awards, and the purpose of these awards is to remind people exactly of that if you get out there and try, this is from 2017, the lady didn't pick up hers. But if you get out there and try, that's why we give these awards, because you know it's tough out here for an entrepreneur. Sometimes you can't get support where you think you can. Boy, do I have some stories on that. You don't know where your support might come from. In 21 years, let me tell you, I done seen people come and go. But if you believe in something, just stick with it and your help will come. The money will come, the resources will come. Just follow what the good Lord put in your heart to do. So if the good Lord put it in your heart to go back to school, I suggest you go back to school, try. There are affordable ways to do it. And there are scholarships, there are grants. I got a delegate scholarship. Did you get one? Did your kids get one? Did you get one for somebody in your family? The state senators have scholarships. Did you know that? 841-3000. Find out who your state elected officials are. Reach out to them and get yourself a scholarship. There are plenty of scholarships, plenty of resources out here. One of my favorite things at the end of the year is to see how many people have, how much money students have gathered. You know, they do these graphics and say, little Johnny got $1 million in scholarships. That just warms my soul. I don't know about you, but it warms my soul. It makes me very happy to see that students, our young people, 17 years old, they've been out here working, filling out applications, filling out opportunities for scholarships. There's scholarships all over the place. Better put this thing on mute altogether. I was waiting on a guest, but my guest didn't show, so we got a replacement guest until we get to 9:45, and then we'll be talking with Mr. LaRon Finney about the second annual Met Gala here in Baltimore. They had a press conference yesterday. But getting back to school, whatever your dream is, if it's entrepreneurship, I'm even signed up for a class. I think it starts right after this show. There are lots of opportunities for us to improve ourselves, to better ourselves. One lady put on her Facebook page, you have to be stretched. You have to be stretched out. I really want to ask her, what do you mean? But I presume it means you have to go all the way in. You have to expand your rubber band if you're going to improve. And we should all be working, I think, on improving ourselves, whether it's going back to school, taking a class, walking. Was walking with a friend of mine. There's so many health challenges that we face. I'm 58, and I know people who have dropped at 50, 45, massive heart attack, stroke. So we got to take care of our health. Got to eat right. I should talk because I love me some ice cream. But the point is we got to make sure we get those vegetables, exercise, and all those good things. Orioles looking pretty good, aren't they? Best season they've had in a long time. Ravens, 2 practice games down, 1 more to come. And then we get to the live season. Should be a very fascinating season. We got some good receivers, including Odell Beckham. We'll see how Lamar handles it. Now, all he got to do is just put it up there, and Beckham will do the rest. At least that's what it looks like. Special thank you to the people who sponsored tonight's Black Wall Street. We have a Black Wall Street event tonight. Let me just give you some of the details on that. One of our honorees is Mr. Chris Lundy. Chris Lundy is the Minority Business Enterprise Chief for the city of Baltimore. We also have a young man who I just met virtually this week, recommended by Mr. Jim Peterson over at M&T Bank. And Brandon has created a nonprofit for young professionals here in the city of Baltimore. So we're always excited when our next generation are out there, when the members of our next generation are out there doing good things in the community. So if you don't know, Black Wall Street Baltimore is tonight, Wednesday, August 23rd, 6 to 8 p.m. at Terra Cafe over there with Mr. Terrence Dixon. The link is Black Wall Street Be More on Eventbrite. blackwallstreetbemore.eventbrite.com. We also have, let me just read the list of honorees. That probably would be simplest. Talk to Susan Smallwood. She's got a grandiosity event. Okay, that's coming up. Pamela McMichael. She's an RN. She started a healthcare company. We also have Dr. Dennis Osar Winkler Jr. Calls himself Baba. Maurice Good. I used to work with Maurice here in Sandtown. Maurice worked for the Youth Build program after spending some years in New York City working. Charlotte Nader. She heads the Main Street. I think she's the interim director. Also, Grace Love. She created Poets for Dinner. You know, despite all of the negatives that are painted about our community, there is a lot of good. There are a lot of people doing wonderful things in the community, and we should know about them. I mean, if all you watch is Fox, then you don't know Baltimore. If all you watch is mainstream news, you don't know Baltimore. That's why we have this platform. We have slots available. If you would like a show, just email me, Doni, D-O-N-I, at bmorenews.com. We created blackusa.news back in December 2020. The pandemic had hit us. Interviewing had been constrained. And so we finally learned how to stream. StreamYard is very simple. We get to stream to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. Our YouTube following has gone through the roof. Sometimes I don't know about FB. FB gets a little funny. They like trying to throw a monkey wrench into your machine. But nonetheless, we keep it moving and keep growing. And we want you to be on this platform. If you have a show idea, reach out to us. Our general manager is Tasmia Gathers. She's been with us from the very beginning. She and I met working on the Harlem, with the Harlem Business Alliance, working on the Black Business Empowerment Commission. It was a national commission that came about also during COVID. And we would have weekly calls with people from around the country. And as that season ended, we took that same idea of the weekly correspondence and created this network, blackusa.news. So Tasmia Gathers will be joining us momentarily. She's no longer in New York. Tasmia is right here in Maryland. Her husband, Fregis, and her babies. Eli, who is the youngest host ever. He's 2 years old, right here on Black USA. And then also Chloe, that's the newborn. She's 5 months old. So we'll be talking with Tasmia in a minute. But we have other shows like Beverly Smith down in Washington, D.C. She'll be, I think she's changing days from Sundays to Wednesdays. Also a show that is ever so popular, Date 'Em All, Sis, with Erica Alston Buck, her and her interesting self. We also have, what's the show? Just crossed my mind. Oh, Doug, he comes on tomorrow night. Doug Blackshear out in Oakland, California. How you doing? I was calling to see if you wanted to join us today. Good. I'll send you the link. I'm on the air. All right. What's the topic today? The topic is you. So sometimes your guests don't show up, despite all they say that they want to be on the show. But the show must go on. And that's what we're going to do. Again, at 9:45, we have Mr. LeBron Finney, who will be joining us. And he'll be telling us about the Met Gala. If you get a chance, do pick up a copy of I Am Black Wall Street. This is my 2021 book. Not a long read, but full of information. I guarantee. Matter of fact, if you don't learn something after reading this book, I will personally give you your money back. Because I know I darn sure learned something. Mike Randolph, one of our many viewers from around the country, down in Tampa, originally from Sandtown. Good morning to you, Mr. Michael Randolph. And so, again, I just want to reiterate, it's back to school time, back to the salt mines, time to get it popping. Make sure that we're working with the kids. Baltimore Collegiate School for Boys on September. Let me see if I can find that piece of news. And all of this is on bmorenews.com, the news before the news. The Baltimore Collegiate School for Boys is looking for men to step up and come over and help with the back to school efforts on September the 5th. So that's next Tuesday. Join Baltimore Collegiate School for Boys annual welcome back to school handshake. Now, it's 7 o'clock in the morning, so I have to get up early if I'm going to get over there and then get back to the studio. Calling all men, come celebrate our collegiate gents as we welcome them into the new school year. Show them positive male role models and the strong village of support they are surrounded with. And of course, that school is headed by Edwin Avent, a member of Black Professional Men that I've known for some time now. So again, if you want to be a part of this show, email me. If you want your own show, email me, Doni, D-O-N-I, at bmorenews.com. For those who don't know, we do these Black Wall Street Awards because we want to inspire entrepreneurship in our communities. And we also want to help preserve little-known history. A lot of young people today don't know about a little Willie Adams. They don't know about Tom Smith, who was the largest Black hotelier, not only in Maryland, and this is in the late 1800s, early 1900s, not only here in Maryland, but nationally. How many people knew, for instance, that Frederick Douglass headed a union right here in Baltimore? Isaac Myers, down at the bottom of Caroline Street, there's a museum, beautiful building. The Frederick Douglass, Isaac Myers Maritime Park and Museum. And that building is in honor of these two men who founded a ship caulkers union. And that union laid the foundation for the National Black Labor Movement. And some of you would know that by a man named A. Philip Randolph. A. Philip Randolph headed the Porters Union. The Porters were the people that worked, black men who worked on the trains. I guess some were women. Yes, you're late. We're looking for you. I did send you the link, man. All right, I'll send it again. Look at Gmail. Okay. I know darn well I sent the link. No, we're going to send it again. Tasmir, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you, Doni?
We swinging, man. We swinging. Tell them who you are, Taz.
I'm Tajmir Gathers, the founder of the DM firm. That is a business boutique business development firm that allows entrepreneurs to have some strategy around business development. We curate events and we do project management.
And you wanted to, I understand that you are no longer a New Yorker.
No, we relocated to Maryland about 2 months ago.
And how's that working out for you?
We're loving Maryland. Maryland is giving us like city vibes, but also some small community vibes, which is totally different from New York. It's not as loud. We get some green space. My kids love Maryland. It's less stressful here compared to New York City. So we're really enjoying it.
How so? How's it less stressful?
Where can I start? New York City,
wow,
as we know, New York City, as we know, is a city that doesn't sleep, but it has recently been seeing a lot of challenges compared to the past. So I was just told that the train fare went up. And when I left, the train fare was $2.75 one way. Now it's almost $3. Rent has gone up like crazy bananas, like any other city. Also, there's a high population of folks from Ukraine and also folks from mayors from Texas have been shipping immigrants from Texas to New York City. So the city is like completely overpopulated. Schools are overpopulated. All the social services that people once had access to, they don't have access to it as much anymore. They're taxing everything is super high because the city doesn't have enough money to pay for both the immigrants from Ukraine and the folks from Texas that are coming over from the border illegally. So it's just like the wild, wild west happening in New York City right now.
So Taz, tell them about this network. What does this network, blackusa.news, mean to you?
So this network is special in the sense that it galvanizes people from across the country and sometimes across the world to really showcase their own thoughts, because a lot of people are thinking things, they want to do things, they might not have the tools or the knowledge or the time to do it, but the network allows us all to work together, help each other out, learn from each other in a very low stakes situation, right? Like everybody can, have their own show. We can call other hosts from other shows to help us out if we're stuck on something, or we just, are having a rough period in our lives, and we have other folks that we can reach out and talk to. You can also build relationships and work with other people. So I built some relationships with folks on the network, and we do projects together, which means that we go after coins together. So it's really, really special. I don't know if there's any other network that builds that sort of team camaraderie around an activity.
What's been your favorite show besides yours and mine?
You know, I like Quita and Chap show. I like the guy in LA.
Great teammates.
Yeah, the guy in LA, he's pretty cool. You know, Doug's show, he's always like, and let me tell you something else. Doug's show is pretty cool. I also like Erica's show too, when she was talking about being single and dating, and then she changed up the whole topic. So I'm enjoying the show.
And then she reverted back.
I'm loving all.
I thought we were going to get her. I thought she was going to get stable somewhere.
But you see how the network is that like the shows really reflect your life. So as your life changes, oh, thank you, Michael. As the show changes, you get to change the topics of your show, and you get to evolve. And you know, I started my show when I just had Eli, and I started my show when Eli was 6 months. Now you guys are going to start seeing Zoe, who's 5 months. So the show really is a way to document your life and your changes, and like what's going on, and what new topics you become interested in, and new people that you start to meet. So all the shows are like super, super unique, but I think they all follow our lives in a very authentic way.
Tell them about your company, Taz.
So the DM Firm is a business boutique development firm where we work with entrepreneurs from startup to VC, really on business strategy and business planning. And then we connect them to other resources in the network. But we also work with entrepreneurs in a way of creating curated events. So we now do 2 flagship events. The Brunch Pitch, which is a pitch competition for Black entrepreneurs to be able to come out and pitch their business ideas. And they receive feedback from judges, and they also receive feedback from their actual pitch. And then we have a new step up from the Brunch Pitch called the Culture Pitch, because what we learned is that Black entrepreneurs don't have robust networks in order to raise money to move their business concept or their business strategy forward. And so our way of working with that is allowing entrepreneurs to come out and pitch their crowdfunding campaign. And so they can raise money in real time to do what they need to do, either to start their business, to grow their business, to test something out. So super excited about the Culture Pitch. I stress the word Black a lot in my competitions because, you know, we come from a place of wanting to be very inclusive, and there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes when you're too inclusive, you distract from the people that you're really trying to serve. And so I say Black entrepreneurs instead of minority or people of color, because I'm working with Black entrepreneurs and trying to move them forward in a very meaningful way. And if I start adding on terms to just blanket the marketplace, I'm concerned that I will not have the focus that I want to have with these 2 initiatives in particular.
At the end of the day, what is your ultimate goal for these businesses?
My ultimate goal is for them to thrive the way that they want to. I know everybody doesn't want to be a $1 billion, $1 trillion business. I know everybody doesn't want to be a legacy business. Some people want to have seasonal businesses, and that's okay. Some people want to just do this and it's a hobby and they don't want to take it too seriously. That's also okay. But there are some people that want to use their business as a tool to create something phenomenal, and that's also okay. I want Black businesses to be able to operate in the ways that they want to operate without going through red tape and having unnecessary unnecessary boundaries put in their places. You know what I mean? So I just want people to find what their thing is, do it well, you know, reimagine who they are, what they want their business to be. And at whatever stage you want it to be at, I'm okay with that, because everybody doesn't want the same thing.
Here's a question for you. When I see various initiatives, programs that talk about scaling one's business. I mean, on the internet, there are all kinds of people claiming they can help you grow your business, help you scale this program, this class. When you see these various things, what filter do you use to like, okay, this is worth checking out, this is not worth checking out, this person is legit, this is some BS? How do you look at it? Because I certainly want to grow. You want to grow. We want to expand. We want to be stronger, bigger, reach more people. But how do you temper that? What's your filter?
So the thing is that these blanket terms in business means different things to different institutions that are doing it, right? So when you say scale to a VC person, they're talking about exit or a merger or acquisition, right? So they're like, okay, we're going to grow this thing super big. We're either going to offload it, right? We're going to have an exit and we're going to all make a whole lot of money. We want to merge with another business. So we're trying to make it appealing that another large business is going to want to buy us out, right? So that's they're going to acquire the business, or we're going to merge these two concepts together and become one entity, right? So when you think about VC, that's what they're thinking about for scaling. For incubators, is really for those startup entrepreneurs, and it's not necessarily based on the year that you started your business, because some people have had their businesses for 20 years and they still are in a startup phase, right? They still are trying to work on some very basic principles to get their businesses into another segment of business development. And then you have accelerators, which are like, okay, you are past the startup phase. You have some proof of concept. You've been making some revenue. You have your audience together. You're not necessarily like trying to get things together. You're already together. You need some tools that if we give them to you, you can definitely go to the stratosphere, right? And then you have individual businesses, well, individual people that are running businesses. So let's just call them business service providers, right? And when you're looking at business service providers, you need to do a couple of things to evaluate these people. This is what I usually do. One, you look at their background with a grain of salt, because you're going to have people that say, I worked here, I worked there, I worked with this business, I worked with that business. What you really want to know is what they really did. Did they work as a team with 20 other consultants, right? And they just played a very small role, but they're taking credit for all the impact.
Let me just throw this in there. There are a lot of people say they worked on Barack Obama's campaign. Next thing you know, they running for this, they running for that. It was like, what did you really do?
Exactly.
So you trying to ride off of this cat's name.
So you have to like look at that stuff with a grain of salt, right? Because you have no idea what role they really played, right?
I met Obama's dog.
That's one thing. That's one thing that you have to do. The other thing that you have to do is test them out, right? Like and do a consultation with them. See if they are just like regurgitating keywords and things that they see everybody else talking about, or are they really about this? And it's really easy to tell people who do this all the time and this is their thing and they do it well. I get kind of nervous when people tell me that they do everything. if I meet somebody and they tell me I'm a business developer, but I'm also a marketer, I'm also a brander, I'm also a PR person, that throws up red flags for me, because what do you do well? Like, you can know about all those buckets, but all those buckets have a different ecosystem attached to them. They have different people, places, and things, and different strategies. So if someone doesn't have like a clear, I do business planning, I do business financials, right? I do business taxes or something. Start to get real nervous when they start veering off into all these wraparound services that they're saying that they're doing, because 9 times out of 10 they're doing it, but they're not doing it well, or they're subcontracting and they're not telling you that they're subcontracting out to someone else. So now you don't even know the subcontractor. And so people don't want to tell you, like, hey, we have a bunch of consultants that we work with, that you get a chance to understand those consultants' backgrounds. You're just in like a catch-22 of paying for something and expecting these awesome results, but then you likely won't get them, right? So that's how I think about it.
Let me see if we have Brittany here. Brittany, are you with us? You got to unmute your mic.
Oh,
how you
sorry.
Doing?
Beautiful day, everyone. Ty here. How are you?
Taz, she was speaking to you.
Oh, hello. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Okay, so tell them who you are, Britt. And what do I call you? I'll call you Britt or Tech, because I'm thrown at this juncture.
You know me personal because of Dottie, but everybody knows me out here as Tut, the underrated talent. And I love to hear this conversation, Tajmir, because I am a person that considers myself a Jill of all trades, but I do not full on tell people that I do everything. I'm straight and concise with, I'm a photographer, but there's certain variants that I can sway off to because I'm a creative. But Tut Takeover is a variant of different things, but I'm primarily a photographer focusing on artists and catering to the lyricism in our city and the culture of it.
You see how I like how you said that, right? Because people have a clear understanding of what you do. There's other things that you could do, but you might not do them as well as what your main jam is.
Yes.
My
absolutely.
concern is that, like, some people just put everything in a pot. Like, I do all these things 100%. And it's like, do you really though? Like, what is your real thing that you really, 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 really enjoy doing, and you know that you do that really well? Because
I understand.
In the business development world, sometimes you get concerned because people are just trying to give you a higher check. They're like, hey, you got to pay me $10,000 because I'm doing all these things. But then what if you're the only person doing it and you get hit by a bus?
Okay.
Right? Like that becomes my concern. And then sometimes, not in the creative space, in the business development industry space, because creatives, you guys can sing and dance and rap and pull different pieces together from that creative piece. But when things are very technical, like someone is telling you, I do your taxes, but I also can do your graphics.
Yeah, that doesn't blend to me.
That doesn't blend to me. That you get what I'm saying? That is like, okay, do you do taxes or are you a creative? That becomes really complicated, and entrepreneurs are getting taken advantage of because people are mixing in all these different worlds of different things that don't really go together, but to someone who doesn't know, they might think it goes together.
They be lying. They straight be lying.
That part. Post COVID, I feel like a lot of people after the pandemic wanted to grasp onto anything and everything to get a quick dollar. So it's not about turning over a nice service. It really is just the matter of, just like you said, I'll do your taxes, but I'll also do your graphics too. It doesn't make any sense, but any way for them to get some sort of coin, not a consistent client, but a customer, that'll work. But to people like you and I, if you tell me you prepare taxes, I want to hear something following up where I'll help you plan your business, or I know how to do business proposals. That will help out a lot more than I can help you with your graphics.
Hey, Taz, we hear them babies. Them babies ready to come on the show.
Yeah, they're watching Gracie's Corner, and I often have to tell them that Gracie, mom has to come pick her up so she could go play with some other kids. Because if not, I'm on Gracie all day long. I'm tired of singing these kids songs. I'm over it.
Taz, how's that working out? Being a mom and being an entrepreneur. I mean, and big ups to Freegis. I mean, Freegis, you know, he's always going to be my hero. Brittany, Freegis is her husband, and they just moved their family and businesses to Maryland from New York. So she's one of the people that you will meet. Taz does a business pitch competition, and we have to get out to one of their events. But how can we plug your business, Brittany?
You can follow me at Touch Shoots on Instagram, but if you don't have an Instagram, I am on touchshoots.com. If you're interested in learning more about TTO Cypher, the platform for lyrical artists in Baltimore City, that is on TTO Cypher or youtube.com at TTO Cypher for you to do any of them. And when it comes to Touch Shoots, I cater to event spaces, parties, portfolios. If you want to build your brand, I help all of that, headshots, all of that. Just reach out to me and we can do business.
Every business person should have a headshot.
Yes.
You know,
and if you have a brick and mortar business, you should have professional shots of your business and what you sell, your products.
One of the things we ask for when people get these awards is their bio. How important is a bio, Taz?
A bio is a way for you to continue to market yourself so that people know what you do, how long you've been doing it. It's a way for you to also be a little cocky, you know, and shout yourself out with all your achievements that you've been able, things that you feel are going to have someone say, I need to get to know you a little bit better.
So Brittany, what kind of clients, what kind of customers are you looking for?
And I like how you said clients first. So I'm looking for clients, repetitive offenders, repeat offenders, where it's normally brands, artists, entrepreneurs, business, corporate that I'm looking for to engage with, people that have a clear vision of what they want. And if you don't have a clear vision of what you want, then that's a perfect conversation to have, because I can help you brand and build your business. Being in the entertainment world, I know what it's like to brand yourself properly and the way that marketing and analyzing and algorithms, all that looks. And if you're just solely basing your professionalism off of your camera phone, that's not going to work in an industry where there's a lot of people that have photographers on their staff right now. So I help with things of that nature. If you need the headshots, I can do that. If you need the things your photos put on your flyers for your next event, that's even essential too. A lot of people try to get away with doing everything themselves, but sometimes you need that person that can align you with those things and is, what's the word? That's professional in what we do. Mm-hmm. And takes it serious. I'm very big on the look and the feel of somebody's company.
Mm-hmm. So we've just been joined by Terrence Dixon, and for the next couple of minutes, we're going to have a general discussion. Terrence, you posed a question that when it comes to dealing with these various experts who say that they can help your business, your first question is,
boom,
Do they own a business?
Have they ever owned a business?
And I think when we think of when I think of elected officials, that's a big question I have too. Have these elected officials ever owned a business? Because how can they help a business when they've never really walked in their shoes? You want to touch that for me, Terrence?
Well, you want to know what, Doni? First thing, good morning, everybody. Chef T. Terrence Dixon, Terra Cafe, Terra Loft Consulting. And I'm just jumping in. I'm not familiar with everybody I have in front of me. All right.
So let's go around the horn. Tazmir, you want to introduce yourself? She's on mommy duty and she's an entrepreneur. And Taz, we always welcome babies on our platforms at our events because Terrence knows he's got. I mean, you got 18 children, Terrence.
No, I got maybe about 300 children in the city of Baltimore.
Yeah. So if you're an entrepreneur and a parent,
everybody blaming them, I'm claiming them.
Okay.
They mine.
Taz, you want to introduce yourself?
So I own the DM firm, which is a boutique business development firm where I focus on business strategy from startup to VC. And then I also provide entrepreneurs with connections to different people in the ecosystem. I do curated events. Two of my curated events is the brunch pitch and the culture pitch, both geared at Black entrepreneurs. The brunch pitch allows entrepreneurs to come and pitch their business for a suite of business technical assistance, and they pitch in front of judges and they get initial feedback. The culture pitch is a competition for entrepreneurs to pitch their crowdfunding campaigns. As we know, entrepreneurs don't have a robust network in order to raise funds as other groups do for seed funding. So we're going to serve as the first round friends, family, and investor.
And she'll be bringing that brunch pitch, possibly, Terrence, to your restaurant, Terra Cafe.
All right. And I'm throwing a question right back at her. What business did you open before you started doing consulting?
So I didn't have a business before I did consulting, but I worked with entrepreneurs in the nonprofit space. So I was providing business technical support to entrepreneurs before I opened my own business. I worked at a bid and also ran my business before I quit my job and have been running my business for 6 years.
And you know, one of the most fascinating stories you ever told me, Taz, was that day your compadre made you sign that letter.
Which letter? Remind me, I still have mommy brain.
That I'm not working this damn job no more.
So I was working a job. I was running programming on 125th Street in Harlem. And I was also running my business at the same time because I didn't know if I could be a full-time entrepreneur. Maybe this was just going to be a side hustle that I had. And so my boss was getting on my nerves, and my best friend had told me, like, hey, let's resign from this job because you've been doing impact with people for 4 years. Like, you know what you're doing. You've had some challenges. You've had to figure things out. You've made some mistakes. But you survived. You have a network. You're always learning. And other people are out here doing it, and they have no idea what they're doing, and you keep having to fix things. And so she helped me write my resignation letter, and I submitted it about 2 months later.
Boom. Okay, Brittany, tell them who you are. Tut.
Beautiful day. I met you at the birthday of Be More News, but it's okay. I am Tut, the photographer /
Smile, Terrence. You'll be scaring people like you waking up.
No, he's analyzing. He want to know. He want to know what we bring.
You met me, sister, so you know how I roll.
Exactly.
You know how I hit.
Don't give me that hocus pocus. You better smile. You come on CNN, they be smiling.
I'm all bubbly. Yeah, but you know what? CNN don't get you there all the time. I'm all bubbly inside. You just don't see it.
No, we don't.
You gotta earn it.
No, you better.
Go ahead. Keep talking to me, Queen. I know that you took those pictures, and you need to send me a couple of them ones because I had my joint done. It was good.
Okay.
Send an invoice when you send.
See, I'm talking about
Doni. See that's the one thing that I always say is this. Guess what? We go throughout, and everybody talks about getting the bag, right?
Yes.
Everybody wants to create this utopia where you get the bag, and what I share with cats and entrepreneurs that are starting out, if you focus on the money, you lost before you got started. Yeah. If you focus on the money, you lost before you got started. One of the key things that we actually have challenge with is that we really don't get that bottom line structure right. And a lot of times, in my opinion, and not even my opinion, but reality speaks for itself, that if you do not get it right, it don't go right. All right. Doni mentioned something that we actually right now are in the state in Baltimore that I'm calling code red. Okay. Because you got a lot of people that are very smart people. They're very beautiful people. Hey, little mama, look at her.
Look at her.
See, that's her why. That's her why. That's why she does what she do for that beautiful little queen. But what happens is that we get into a place of where we're accepting people that really haven't done it, and now they're trying to tell you how to do it. Okay. See,
hey, Terrence, I got to jump in for a second. We have some breaking news. Do you know what's happening this weekend? We have LaRon Finney of the Finn Group. And let me just say, LaRon, I have no problem saying it publicly. What's this, 21 years? I think you've been in business maybe 23 years.
23.
And way back when I got started, LaRon was already doing it. And a promise I made to myself was, don't try to be like LaRon. Take something from his playbook. And he was doing these wonderful events. What was the business thing? The Black Entrepreneurs. What was the name of it? Black Business Summit?
Yeah, African American Business Summit.
Oh, my God. I met my first web designer. This cat, he has taught me some things. One thing he taught me, that you want to support your own people, but at the end of the day, you want the best person to do the job. And sometimes they won't be black. And I fought him. I fought him tooth and nail. It was a knockdown, drag out fight. I was like, black, black, black. He's like, man, good, good, good.
There you go.
And another piece of encouragement, I remember I had a hoopty, and he was like, it's getting you from A to B, ain't it? You don't even remember that, do you, LaRon?
I remember everything, Doni.
He said it'll get you from A to B, so be grateful. Come on, what you got this weekend, LaRon Finney?
All right, well, actually, I see my brother Terrence is on the line. So this Saturday, man, we're proud to have the Baltimore Met Gala. This is the second year for this event. And what it's going to do, Doni, it's going to bring the best of Baltimore. We have 10 designers and 140 models participating in the fashion experience. We have 10 culinary artists, including Terrence and Terra Cafe, who will provide amazing offerings to our guests. And then we're featuring 5 of the top artists, not just here in Baltimore, but from around the country, with Ernest Shaw, Cole Peace, Scott Tucker, Ainsley Burroughs, and Art by Chooks.
These are visual artists? These are visual artists?
These are visual artists, yes. So what you're going to get, man, when you walk into this amazing new space, which is called the M&T Bank Exchange, next to the Hippodrome Theater, is just a sensory engagement. You're going to have a fashion experience of 140 models walking the runway. You're going to have Terrence and 9 other culinary artists displaying and providing great food and treats. And then you're going to walk into the space, and we have over 50 pieces of art that will be inserted into the venue to give you a whole art experience. And then we got great music, great people. It's just going to be an amazing event, and we're doing it to raise money for Park Heights Renaissance and the George Mitchell Award that they do there in that very important community.
So LaRon, what's next for you? I mean, what's next? Atlanta, Baltimore, England, Toronto. What's next? Oh, by the way, for those who don't know, this cat has been producing jazzy summer nights for as long as he's been in business, and has provided us some of the greatest talent in the country right here in Baltimore. One of my favorites, of course, is Raheem Devon, but he brings some go-go music to town. Who hasn't been to one of LaRon's events? What's next, LaRon?
Well, I appreciate that, Donnie. So, I mean, it's been a busy year, man. And going into 24, I'm prepping in Atlanta for the World Cup. And then in Baltimore locally, man, we have CIAA, which is in February. We've created this activation called Center Court, where we take over the old Barnes & Noble location at the Inner Harbor. Then in May, we have the 149th Preakness. We create an activation there called Afro Preak, which really puts our culture right in the middle of that race and that activation. And then, of course, we have Jazzy Summer Nights next summer. And then the Met Gala will be at the end of next summer. So it's a continuum of really highlighting our culture, putting our folks at the forefront, but it's always expectation of excellence. And we're going to do it in the best spaces with the best partners. And it's really about collaboration. I'm just fortunate to be able to guide a bunch of talented people, man. We have over 300 people working on this event Saturday to produce this. So I'm honored and proud and humbled that they trust me to put this forward. And while we have Terrence on the line for him to jump in 10 toes down, I want to say thank you publicly to Terrence and his team.
Thank you so much, Barbara. You know, one of the great things is this, that, you know, Donnie, I've been on hiatus for a little while. Everybody knows I've been, you know, laying low, all right, keep my head down. But there was a reason when I was reached out, Finney and Barbara Chase reached out to me, and Ezekiel reached out, and they said they wanted me to participate in it. You know, they've done this for quite a few years right now with CIAA, and really bringing, you know, that flavor of Baltimore, all right, that Black flavor, because you can't have a Black event and don't have us present. You know, so I'm very excited now that he's actually reaching out further than just downtown. You feel me? That he's really giving access to people from out of town to get all of Baltimore, to experience all of Baltimore. Because in reality, if you just stay downtown, guess what? You went to Disney. Because I can do Cheesecake Factory in Atlanta. I can do Ruth Chris in Miami. Okay, but guess what? You can't do a Terra Cafe. You can't do a Noir. You feel me? You can't do so many other restaurants and energies that here in Baltimore that really create a memorable moment. So I'm very thankful and humbled that they invited us down. It's going to be a great event. You know what I mean? It's going to be like a thick sandwich. You're going to have these fashion rolling through. You know, Shaw's going to tear it up with his pieces in there. Okay. And you got the hitters. You know what I mean? You got the three hitters. You got Ezekiel, you got Finney, you got D Chase. All right. That's three the hard way here in Baltimore for what I've seen so far.
Let me get a word in here.
Well, you don't get me started, Danny. You always interested. So I'm very humbled and thankful. All right, that Black culture is still screaming loud that we're here.
Hey, Terrence.
Yes, sir.
Okay, here we go. So, LeBron, I want you to take me back to 2005. 2005, late August, there was Hurricane Katrina. And your team pulled together a effort to help the victims of Katrina. I remember Marcy, but I remember the building was what's that down on Guilford Avenue?
Yeah, the old Hammerjacks. So Donnie, everything we do, man, we thread it through making sure we empower the community. So that event, we were able to aggregate all of the promoters and event producers within Baltimore and the surrounding area to come together, bring their networks. And we filled the tractor trailer and sent that to New Orleans during Katrina. And even what we're doing with the Baltimore Met Gala, we're recognizing individuals and organizations that are making impact here in the city. So, you know, Congressman Nfume, you know, providing over $30 million in earmarks, $600 million during the CARES Act. Reverend Al Hathaway, what he's doing with the Thurgood Marshall Amenity Center, Yolanda Jiggets and Park Heights Renaissance, F.T. Burden and what he's doing for family and youth. And then we're going to give Darren Atwater a Lifetime Achievement Award for 25 years of Soulful Symphony. So
he's like the first Black man to get some real shine at the Baltimore Symphony in a majority black city where you see hardly any black people in that whole mix.
So we're very intentional, man, that if we're able to touch a bunch of folks, man, we have to activate them around key issues. So you're going to walk in Saturday like you walk in Jazzy Summer Nights or any of the activations that we do, but we always have a focus on putting black folks in position to make money, putting black folks in position to utilize their services. And I made mention at the press conference yesterday that this entire event on Saturday, man, is produced by Baltimore brothers and sisters. We didn't go to DC, New York, or whatever to bring talent in. We're curating it. Our vendors, our food, our artists, our talent. It's all black folks, man.
Why is that important to you? And I know it's a silly question, but you've been to other cities, and I've always shared with you how I like the cats in New York. They stick together, but I hear you saying we got that same love, that same rhythm right here.
Well, it's important because I'm using the best folks to bring the services. They just happen to be black, right? And I'm a firm believer that we are sometimes our worst enemies, man. We let other people keep score for us. We let other people dictate what our capacity and sustainability is. And I just feel like when we get on these platforms, I want them to see. So when the folks at the Hippodrome and the M&T Bank Exchange building, they just put $20 million in that building where we're going to be Saturday. We're the first event to be in that building, right? So
really,
yes, we're the first major activation.
Give them a round of applause, y'all.
We're the first activation in that space, and I say that to say they see how we're walking through at walkthroughs. They see who's leading the culinary. They see who's leading the art. They see who's leading the fashion. It's us. And we're collaborating with them, but it's all the best that we have in our community, man. And I think that should be the basic foundation of how we move as a community. Use each other, hold each other accountable, that excellence is the only criteria that we're going to stand for. But again, our ice is just as cold as anybody else.
We commend you, LaRon. Tasmir, did you want to say anything? Now,
Yeah.
LaRon, just so you know, Tasmir is our general manager. She's a new mommy. This is the second baby and our second youngest host ever of the show. Come on in, Tasmir. This is my ace from Brooklyn, New York. She's now in Maryland.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Donnie, what did you want me to say something in particular?
Yeah, I wanted you to, say hello to LaRon and any thoughts on what he said thus far.
I think it's awesome. I'm super, super excited. See, the one thing that I took when I was coming down to Baltimore to visit and thinking about where I wanted to relocate to was the blackness that Baltimore has. I was so concerned about going somewhere and not having that culture there, and being too suburban. And I felt like, oh my gosh, if I'm going to move anywhere, I got to move to Maryland. And I was very hard about that. We thought about a lot of different places, but I love these events and these activations and how you call them activations and collaborating with other people in your community. Because in New York City, we have a lot going on, but it's very cutthroat, and you find that people don't really want to collaborate in a meaningful way.
Okay, good deal. Let me get Tut, you're a photographer. Any thoughts? Unmute yourself. Any thoughts on this event? Will you be coming through? She's got a camera. She's got a whole photography business, LaRon. Introduce yourself, Tut.
What's up? This is Tut. Beautiful day to everyone. Hello, Mr. Finney. I've been to Jazzy Summer Nights, not to sound like a stan, but I've been to Jazzy Summer Nights numerous times. I love it. I hold space for events and to capture the best of the best. I love to capture events that cater to artists because as an artist first, I know what it's like to need great photography to really pitch for somebody to come out to the show. Having photography is best when it comes to branding and publishing. So that's something that I love to cater to and engage with. And thank you, Doni, for having me in a space like this to network with the upper echelon of Baltimore City.
Well, he's brought the best. LeRon, let me just transition one more thing. One of the greatest AFRAMs. He's done the talent. If they don't have LeRon doing the talent for AFRAM, to me, it ain't even no damn AFRAM. They can go get some. Hey, I'm gonna say it. You've done the best. But 3 artists I remember in particular. I already mentioned Raheem. Tina Marie. Tina Marie did one of her final performances here in Baltimore, and you were responsible. But I gotta tell you, the baddest entertainer I've ever seen by way of LeRon Finney, I would say, was LL Cool J.
Oh yeah, we just went to see him at the 50-year hip hop event at CFG Arena, and I was telling folks that concert with LL, and I think I had either Erykah Badu or India.Arie on that set as well. That was one of the best weekends, man. We had him, we had India, Erykah, Frankie Beverly and Maze, Ashford and Simpson. It was just, and then that second stage we had with Fertile Ground and Chuck Brown, and so yeah, they were good times, man. But you know, it's someone else's time to take that torch. I just want, you know, if there's anything that's representing our community, that we hold it and continue to push it in the high light and at a high standard. So that's all I ask for whomever's taking over the AFRAM Festival now.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us. I did want to tell you that they got to get those Caribbean restaurants around Park Heights involved. They got to make money. Them people hold it down all throughout the year. And if we can get them more a part of it, you know, all of them thousands and tens of thousands of people come through there, half of them drunk. But I'm, you know, when they're walking through the streets after the event. But tell them to support those restaurants up there.
Hey, well, I would say this, and I'll leave on this note because I do have a hard stop. But in the Afro Pre-10, we did utilize Blue Caribbean as the official caterer for the event. And I would just say, man, that, you know, it's a heavy lift to prepare and get ready for that Preakness event. So what I'm working with Yolanda Jiggets and Park Heights Renaissance is just to help these restaurants scale and be able to, you know, because there are no guarantees. This is the thing. Yeah. This is the thing, man. When they're given an opportunity, there are no guarantees. So if I have someone and they pay a fee to come to Jersey summer nights, they prepare food, and they don't do well, you can't blame me. I can only provide the opportunity, right? And I think we got to find a good middle ground where we can have the businesses ready and have them have realistic expectations of what they should do. And then what I'm going to do with Afro Pre, so that they're not trying to prepare for 40,000 people, we're going to select 5 to 6 restaurants to participate in Afro Pre where they can prepare for 1,000 or 1,500 people. And then that's within our culture, within our community. And I think that's the way that we can integrate those local restaurants in Baltimore, specifically Black and Caribbean, to participate in Preakness.
Hey, Baba Fenny, before you go.
He's got a hard stop.
All right, give me I can't get a word? I can't get a word?
Yeah,
first thing I want to shout out to Justin Holland, the curator, is going to be the man that's going to be leading Terra Cafe at the Met Gala. But then also, if I could just share a little bit, because I did have an opportunity to participate in one of the first Preakness that they actually brought Black businesses into. And what I would ask for us this time is that if it's possible, all right, that we get some of the Black restaurants on the inside this time. You know, when I went to the first one, they didn't, you know, we were just on the outside, and they really pitched it as being our event, but we weren't any of the main caterers on the inside. Okay. See, that's a better fit for us.
Okay. He's got to go. I want to thank you.
But I'll say this.
Can't finish my question, Doni.
No, Terrence,
Terrence, this is time. We're already over. Okay.
Terrence, you're right. And we're putting that into consideration. So I appreciate that feedback. But Doni, thank you for the opportunity, and look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Yes, sir. I'll be there. Terrence, you drive a hard bargain. What's going on with you?
Nah, when we're here to discuss issues about community, we got to make time for us.
Anything with more than one head is a freak, though, you know?
Huh?
Okay, so let's go around the horn. Let's plug your business one more time. And we're going to plug yours, Tasmia. And can anyone follow up? Can anyone follow up with me about this? Email me, Deandra, or you can call me, Doni, D-O-N-I, at bmorenews.com. Or you can call me directly, 443-858-2684. 443-858-2684. Come on, Tat, put a plug in. You got to get out of here.
At Touch Shoots on Instagram or touchshoots.com.
Okay. Tasmania, you want to put
Don.
a final plug in? Oh, look at Chloe. Look at the baby. Hi, Chloe. Hi, princess.
The DM Firm on Instagram and YouTube and also LinkedIn.
We know who is running the Big Brother. Okay, Terrence, it's all yours. Thank you, Terrence.
All right, and peace, family. Chef T. Terrence Dixon. You can, the best way with the conversation we're having today is terraloftconsulting.com. All right, sign on to the website. We have a free business analysis. Also, what you see what I got on my chest right here, I got the Root Store. This is the roots of our community and taking it back to creating our own ecosystems. One of the things that you definitely can get with me is, guess what? I've been in the game a long time. I've been on this corner for 25 years. All right. The cafe's been around for about 15 years. Okay. And we've created awesomeness throughout Baltimore.
Has Baltimore been supportive of you, Terrence?
Huh?
Has Baltimore been supportive of you?
You know what, Doni? My community.
I know that you are ticked. That you spent damn near $500,000 building up the back for live entertainment and alcoholic beverages. And then some pilgrim comes along and throws a monkey wrench in your machine. And I realize you are infuriated. And tonight we'll be having a Black Wall Street event. We've always had events at your place. We'll be having a Black Wall Street event there.
Yes, we will.
And we will have Chris Lundy there from the city of Baltimore. So all of that to say that there's help all around.
There's what, Doni?
There is help, H-E-L-P, all around. But we have to be willing.
My address then.
Huh?
They don't got my address.
Yeah, they know where you're at. I mean, I just understood that the bunch of people were at your spot yesterday.
Yeah. You know what? Like I said before, is that guess what? My community has always held me down. One of the things is that people that have been elected and put in position have not. Okay. It is real challenging. All right. That when you support people to have to go back at them to say, what's going on? This is supposed to be a fair 1, 2, 3. If I help you, you're supposed to help me. You know, for those that don't know, I'm one of the main architects for the Boost program for all the businesses downtown. And
say this again.
I'm the main architect for the Boost program that put the 5 Black businesses downtown. All right. And these are the kind of ecosystems that we need to change our community. The next challenge is to put those 5 Black businesses in our community with ownership in mind and not just renting. Boom!
We'll be at Terrence's spot tonight for Black Wall Street, Baltimore. That's 10. For those who don't know where Terra Cafe B-More is, it's 101 East 25th Street. As a matter of fact, Taz, we gotta do your brunch pitch. Now that you're here in Maryland, we have to do your brunch pitch at Terra Cafe. I don't know if what you're doing tonight, but bring the baby through if you want, because it is a dynamic spot, and a lot, most people love the fish. I'm telling you now, I want some chicken wings tonight, Terrence. I don't know what's on the menu, but I need some fried chicken wings and some hot sauce tonight. And I want some kale salad. I want some collard greens, and I want some macaroni and cheese. So there you got my order. And matter of fact, you can put in a slice of that cake, whatever good cake y'all got over there. And also some of that iced tea, mixy thing you got. Okay, Taz, yes, sir. Hey, Chloe. Hi, Chloe.
Say hello. Hey, say hello. Say good morning. Yes, Terrence, we need to talk because we were planning a brunch pitch in very early stages for November. So we definitely need to talk.
Yeah, reach out to me, all right? And if you definitely have a date in mind, I would suggest that just like anything else, we're leasing out the back for birthday parties, weddings, bar mitzvahs, and you can go to terracafebmore.com. We have an awesome new website. You have the ability to actually set up for an event or for just reservations. You can even order online, okay? And then also, Donnie, if I could just share with everybody, the Root store is open, okay? We're out there with the community, and we're not looking to sit at anybody's table. That's archaic. We're creating our own. Okay, for all those that are interested into really being awesome in what they do and creating legacies within their family, like I share with everybody, there's always one in the family that has the ability to create a legacy to change your family forever. That one, come talk to me. All right, that's terraloftconsulting.com. Okay, for the consulting, and also if you want to stop by and put your head in the Root store at 2441.
We got this lady Deandra. She got a billion questions. Deandra, I just put the link in the chat because you got like 30 questions. I ain't gonna be able to answer them all, but you can click that link.
Let me hit one. Get one, Donnie.
Okay. Yes, I have a business in Baltimore. I would love to work with this. Licensed there at the business office. I have a few properties there also, and I tried to establish a biz in a renovated hotel on North Gate Street, but we lost it. I mean, she's got a lot of things to say, and I figured she might want to come on in, so I put the link over there. But with long story short, Terrence, you take care of this young lady right here. You heard me? Jasmine, I want you, Terrence, to have her. Is that music in the background?
That's Gracie's Corner that you're hearing that's keeping Elijah occupied. So I keep putting myself on mute.
Oh, okay. I thought that was Terrence.
I know you're coming for me, baby, but that's why I love you. See, I'm always ready. In Baltimore, you bet not get ready. You better be ready.
This has been an interesting show, and we have gone over. Taz, thank you for all of your support over the years. Thank you for making sure this network keeps shining. Look at Chloe. Oh, my God, the African princess.
Thank you, Donnie. Thank everybody for listening today. I definitely hope to see a lot of people. Also, let me share one thing, Donnie, is that we're having these community meetings on Tuesday.
You always say that. That'll be like 3, 4, 5 things. You ain't slick, Terrence.
My part Jamaican and thing. You know, we got like about 13 jobs now. All right. We're doing something different. All right. We're not going to wait until election. You know, people have these stale comments. Oh, we'll get them at election. Guess what? Baltimore is in the sight of code red. We need it now. Okay. All right. So we're having these community meetings at Tuesday. And this was called by the elders. This was called by the seniors in action. Okay. And if you don't listen to the seniors, something wrong. So we had a great meeting yesterday. Quite a few people in the community came out. But guess what, Donnie, I was missing? Donnie, guess what I was missing, man? I didn't have one politician in the house, son. So how can you have a community meeting about black business, about black
I didn't know about it.
And don't have it?
Hold up. I didn't know about it. I get all of these phone calls afterwards from people on your team. So what is happening Tuesday? Because there's a bunch of misinformation.
I'm going to clarify it because you did call me and shared that I needed to be more precise and intentional on what's going on. Is that at this point in time in Baltimore City, it is code red. We cannot continue to see the downtown and other areas being developed, and our kids are left with less than development in their community, less than in their schools. Okay. And we keep pointing at our kids. When they vandalized my building, I wasn't angry with them. I'm angry with us that we have failed because that is a representation of our report card of community. Okay. So I want those kids. People like, yo, where they at? I'm going to go get them. Yeah, go get them and bring them here. And let's find out what we can do to make them awesome. Let's find out why our 15, 16, 18, 19 years old on a Monday night at 11 o'clock kicking in storefront windows. And they did 5 of them, Blunt. They did 5 of them, Donnie. 5. I haven't seen our council person yet. I have not heard from the mayor's office. But guess what, Donnie? If that happens,
who is the council person for that?
Our council person is Robert Stokes. I ain't seen him in a year or better. Okay.
Did you call
This
him?
was in Canton.
Did you call him? Did you call him?
You know I call him, brother. But guess what? If you're on post, why do I got to call you and tell you somebody breaking in if you're on post? That
Because
cat's
we
on
also
post.
understand that
He
there
got
was
elected. Okay.
there was also some vandalism done down on Washington Boulevard. I understand that an establishment named Swirl got hit with some Swell.
Yeah.
That they got hit with some vandalism, as well as maybe 3 or 4 others. So it's 25th
Do you understand
Street.
what you just said?
Help me out.
You just said that.
Well, I'm sure you're gonna make sure I do.
That our businesses are being attacked, and guess what? Everybody's looking real slick on the screen, baby. They're looking real slick in the newspaper, but all these businesses are downtown, and in our community, they're real trashy. All right, they're really disrespectful. Okay, because when the election season is coming up, and they're going to be right back on us. Okay, but the one thing is this: that we've gotten into a point where we have a small memory. We only remember this thing for a minute, and then we let it go. Okay, we can't wait until the election. Our seniors are scared to go outside. Our kids are confused and don't know what to do. All right, what is the next step for Baltimore? Like I said, they're looking real good on this screen. They're bringing a lot of people from out of town saying they're doing great things, but they're not doing great things in our community, and they're doing great things with Black money, but not in the Black community. All right, boom.
So you were going to give us some specifics about Tuesday. What time and where?
10 o'clock on Tuesday morning. All right, we're asking folks to come out.
Is this a press conference?
The address is
this a press conference?
Well, you know what? We're past that. But if you want to do a press conference, I would love to have a press conference with you, because right now what we're doing is we're putting together an agenda of what we need to do in our community. All right. And guess what? At one point in time, Donnie, do you remember back in the day when a politician didn't do right? What did you do? You showed up at his house because he lived in the neighborhood. All right. It was part of like the prereq. You know what I mean? But now that people are so slick, they live in the county and they got a little spot. They got a little apartment in the city. But guess what? If they lived in the city and they had to go to the grocery store at night, or they seen the fear in our elders when they're out on the street, or they see kids that are just wandering around and don't know what to do. See, then now you are part of that community. You can't be part of that community if you don't want to really be here. And you can't be part of that community if you just shipped in. Okay? These are some of the things that we're addressing and really setting a standard of how people handle us. Guess what? They might not be able to solve all the problems, but you got to at least show up. You got to at least show up. Because if it was Canton, guess what? They show up. If it was Federal Hill, they show up. Okay? It's time. You got to show up or you got to shut up. They can't keep saying they're doing great for us and they're not. All right? And we're going to have that conversation about Harbor Bank that has a ton of money that could be leveraged that would create and change the narrative of public safety in Baltimore City. When you give people home ownership, all right, they handle it different. Okay? And that's one of the biggest challenges in the city. You can't keep building one side and don't feed the other, baby. It creates chaos. And if I wasn't too crazy, I would feel like it was almost intentional. It's almost intentional if they want to run the Black people out of Baltimore City. Okay?
So let me get Taz in here. Taz, did you see a similar lack of support for Black businesses in New York City?
Of course. It's all over the country. Of course. We make up the majority of the population in major cities. We bring the culture, we bring the attraction. But when it comes down to government contracts and really infusing money to sustain businesses, particularly Black-owned businesses, it's just not there. It's so much red tape. It's so much, I don't want to do it. It's not me. It's not me. You guys need to figure it out. And then the parallel propaganda of what they put on the news to discourage people from supporting you is horrendous. It's happening all over.
Yep. And I understand you're from Brooklyn. I'm going to hit you with one real quick. Do you remember back at the carnival that they used to have the carnival in Brooklyn? Do you remember it used to start on Thursday and it wouldn't stop until Monday morning? But do you understand what they've done in that community? It's the same thing that's happening here. Carnival starts at 10. when the last float comes starts at 10 on Saturday or Sunday, and it's a few hours. And
it used to be an all week event. It was a whole. See, New York City has different population of cultures that descend on a particular part of the city. And so that was our Caribbean culture over there. Any kind of Caribbean food that you want from Trinidad, Jamaica, all the islands, they were there, and that was their celebration, and everybody knew it, and everybody wanted to be a part of it. But what started happening was gentrification, if I'm going to be quite honest. They didn't want the loud noise at night. So they shut down the pre-celebration and the post-celebration of the parade and made it into a couple of hours, right? Where it used to be vendors out there. You could go get your roti, you could get your food, you could get your ginger beer, you could have a great time. It was part of the culture that you looked forward to, because there wasn't a lot of Black-centric parades in New York City. And so that was the one thing that people would come all over to see artists perform and all of that. And then it got reduced to a half a day event.
And you want to know what one of the key things is? A lot of people look at it that it was economic, because at that point in time, understand that people planned for that for 6 months. The money and the revenues that would be made from that whole week.
Would hold them down for a year?
Huh? It would last them for a good 6 months. But also, guess what it was, Donnie? It was part of public safety. Because you get an opportunity to meet people, you get an opportunity to savor the culture. That means that, guess what? Now you're not having someone telling you a distorted view of what they think of the people. They get a chance to see the food, the culture, the love. So guess what? When you see that about a person, how could you have not a great feeling about them or respect about them? You feel me? That is the key. It was bigger than the bread. Like I said, if you chase the bread all the time, you lost. The value of culture and introducing people to it, guess what? It's all of it. That's the problem here in Baltimore City, that they isolate Blacks so far from being within the whole segment of the development of Baltimore City that people are scared of our kids. Our kids are just like their kids.
Let me take it a step further. The people that moved there wanted to be there because of the culture, but then they didn't want the culture when they had to live with it all day.
That's it. They want to dial you down when they want it, and then when they don't want it, they dial you back, and they dial you down. And you've seen that consistently within Baltimore City with over the last few years of the Black major events, of how they get pushed around, slapped around, and it's crazy. I mean, this is, at some point in time, somebody has to say something. And the old adage, we're going to get them at election, that don't work no more. Because guess what? Some of my seniors might not make it. Some of my youth might not make it. Okay? All right? So that is the part that we're bringing together with this community meeting on Mondays at 10 o'clock.
You said Tuesday, brother. Tuesday.
At Tuesday at 10 o'clock. I'm thinking of Merville. Tuesday at 10 o'clock. Every Tuesday at 10 o'clock. We're having these. And Donnie, here's the one thing.
Okay.
We're not just having a meeting. We're having classes. One of the things that's going to be on the next meeting is that we're going to talk about home ownership. That's what we're doing. We're building our community. We're going to talk about home ownership. Donnie, did you know there's over $60,000 out here in grants for first-time home buyers that if you stack all the programs together? Did you know that? There's over $60,000. So that means that if we have the ability to take families, okay, and we have the ability to put them in classes, Donnie, and we have the ability that 6 to 9 months, we can position somebody to be a homeowner. Do you understand the challenge that would actually solve in reference to public safety? That our kids are going to act different, that people will clean those front steps with Ajax and a brush again. You know what I mean? That's what's missing right now, is that true essence of community and knowing that you belong. All right?
Terrence, we've gone way over. We're going to get up out of here.
I thank you for respecting me, and I definitely respect you all the time. I definitely don't want you to feel as though I disrespect you because you put a margin. I go a little bit further. It's the passion in me for my community and our people.
Just add some potato salad, some collard greens, some kale salad, some macaroni and cheese, and some chicken wings. I got my
I'm
own
gonna hit you like a fat boy. I'm gonna hit you like a fat boy. I got you. Big country coming up.
And a slice of cake.
All right. All right. It might still be warm. I'm gonna have to make it fresh. Like I said, thanks to everybody again. Chef T, Terrence Dixon, Terra Cafe, Terra Loft Consulting, and I appreciate you. Give thanks.
Give thanks. Good morning, world.